All right, welcome everybody. I think it's deja vu, right? Some of you are who will be jumping in here might just saw us on another channel.
Heck yeah.
We
interviewed
guys.
Mark Curran, the director of freaking Hoodman and Abandoned Dead. It was an honor.
No, it was fun. I love. There's nothing better than interviewing people that you never heard of before because you get to meet. It's just like when we had you on for the very first time. It's cool to meet new people because you get to learn new stuff about people, and you never know when good things come back. You never know. Maybe he'll make a movie in Seattle or in your area. He might need an extra, and who knows? Maybe we'll be in his movie one day. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think that could be very useful. Like us being the podcast form, we could be on the screen on it talking about the Hoodman. Building up the lore, and I think it would be even more authentic than not.
It is. And just to the confusion for anybody, hey Tom, that was awesome that you put his YouTube page up. Honestly, my bad. I didn't realize he had a YouTube page. I'm bad. I didn't realize that. So thank you, Tom. And the reason, guys, that I took our normal show and moved it over to Horror Talk because I didn't want to have two videos on the same channel where people might skip the video with him because it's hard trying to get your content out there and that people know that you exist. I mean, it's not easy because there's a lot of great content out there. Bigfoot would tell you there's a lot of great YouTube channels that are out there we just don't know about because there's so many.
It's all about the algorithm, like he was saying. You got to get reviews and likes for you to even fit into the YouTube, central. Otherwise than that, you have to grow that from the ground. So we're on the ground floor, just spreading the word, man. It's special. Hey, are you going to be able to change that background from our last show?
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I got to change it. Like I said, everything was happening so fast this morning. With my internet being out last night, I couldn't do a lot of things.
Had to squeeze in the movie too.
Yeah, here. Let me put because I have it here. There we go. It's coming up. Mystical creatures, unheard mythological creatures.
Yes.
Now, I wonder where that slacker at. Where's that slacker, Dr. Wu? Where is he at? That slacker. He'll be coming soon. I just sent it to him. But yeah, this show is about the 15 weirdest stories of from Greek mythology. Now I know. I hate when you put other when you got the web links and there's always windows popping up. But I'm going to share where I got this article from. Let me show this. Now, what I love about some of these articles here is you might hear some of them, and Bigfoot, you might be able to add if you heard some of these stories. Like I said, these are just stories, people. I'm not making this stuff up. It's called the weirdest, most disturbing stories from Greek mythology, and we'll just start. And when Bob jumps in, oh, that's not him. Let's see here. The first story is. Oh, God damn, how you freaking pronounce that? Sisython?
Yeah, that's good.
Sisython is so hungry that he eats himself to death. Now, like I said, I don't know if these stories are true or they're not. But, welcome, Peter. Welcome. I know this is not your normal, typical horror. That's tomorrow talking about, we're going to be talking about Hellraiser tomorrow. So, like I said, if anybody that'll be watching this now, Peter, Tom, even Bigfoot, anybody's welcome to jump on any Horror Talk show on Tuesdays or Thursdays. More the merrier. It's funner when you have more people. So anybody who loves Hellraiser, want to add something to it, tomorrow, 10 a.m., we're talking Hellraiser franchise. Now, this one says here, on the theme of never piss off the gods, let's have a look at Erisithon. I guess I don't know how you pronounce it. Who cares? This man was incredibly greedy and rich, and really didn't pay the gods much mind. One day, he cut down a sacred grove of trees in order to build another feast hall. As the rich are wont to do, as the rich wont to do, Demeter was slightly by this and decided to punish him. He gave him an appetite so strong that he ate everything. He ate all the food he had, then all the food he could bury, until he had completely exhausted his wealth. He even tried to sell his own daughter for food. This reduced him to such poverty that he lost all standing, his home, everything. When he had nothing else left, he turned on himself and died eating his own flesh off his body.
I'd say his daughter's lucky she didn't get eaten by him. You know, it's horrible that he sold her off, but I think that was merciful because he turned so dark. I think he would have ate her after a while.
This is ironic. I just got here, guys. The story. I ate Chinese food. That's why I'm late. I was eating Chinese food.
Hey, first of all, Bob, this whole morning was kind of crazy. I lost internet last night. Didn't get it working until 5:30. I had to rush and watch a movie, and then everything has been last minute. But hey, it's better that way. It's raw. But Bob, have you ever heard of this Greek guy named Erysichthon?
No. Is he a god?
No.
Is this a Greek tragedy?
Yeah, he's a Greek tragedy that ate himself after being cursed with a deadly hunger.
So fucking classic Greek tragedy. I love it. Yeah, no, I've not heard this one. But I imagine it sucked for him at the end, right?
Well, well, he died by eating his own flesh.
Okay, cool. Yeah, usually they find out that they just ate their child, or they've had sex with their mother. Some weird thing happened at the end. Greek tragedies are awesome.
But again, Bob, just like on Monday when we did a show about the craziest Bibles, in this first story, again, here we go again with daughters. He even tried to sell his own daughter for food. What is with the Bible and Greekology selling off their daughters, offering their daughters up? It's like, damn.
You gotta remember back then, dude. Remember they were trade goods. Remember they get a bride's wealth, so your daughter's worth a lot of money, dude. Well, a lot of cattle, a lot of gold. They're the bride's wealth, man. They're worth a lot. So daughters are specific for gaining property arrangements. Yeah, there you go. I hate to say it that way. It is what it was. Was what it was. Yeah.
It's just like, man, am I really reading a comic book story? But I guess it is, like you said, it is what it is. It was during the times that people lived in.
It's exactly it. Well, I mean, look at the royal family. The royal family does the same thing. Kate married fucking, what's his name? Prince Skullet. I can't remember which one he is. He's not the red fucking ginger. He's the other one. But she came from money. Well, she was lacking thereof. The family was in debt. She was handed over to pay off a debt. So I mean, if you look at the history, she was handed off to old Skullet to pay off a debt to the royal family.
That's
so
true.
Yeah, still doing.
True. Well, let's go to the second one here. Let's see what the second one says. Leda gets down and dirty with a swan. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I know this one. Go for it.
Leda gets down and dirty with a swan. Throughout the mythology, Zeus sleeps with basically everyone. He's a gigolo. Okay, so Zeus, the gods, demigods, mortals, animals, and even sometimes with mortals while disguised as animals. One of the strangest myths involving that is that of Leda and the swan. Here we go. In the story, Zeus sees Leda and admires her from afar. In order to get with her, he transforms into a swan and then seduces her. Nice. How does a swan seduce a woman? Well, we're not sure, and we probably don't want to know. Okay, the two made it, and from the union came to set of twins. One of these children, born from an egg, no less, was named Helen. Yes, as in Helen of Troy, and allegedly the most beautiful woman alive. The mythology makes no note, however, her mother ever told her that she was half Zeus swan.
Well, yeah. See, there's a whole backstory there that they don't even include because a lot of the women have rivalries. The goddesses, and so Zeus is actually married to like the goddess of feminism and, and family loyalty. However, the dude likes to roll the girl. He cheats 24/7. So there's a backstory about Helen. Put a curse on her to be that beautiful and that tempting because then she attempted Paris, which started the whole damn Trojan War, man.
That's true.
So in a nutshell. Every time Zeus goes out and nails a chick, his wife secretly behind his back goes out and curses the family. Always curses somebody somewhere. Or the woman, or something happens. There's a huge backstory of the goddesses. They're always planning against them. So it's the sacred feminine against the sacred masculine, 100%. Or you would call the Star of David, which is the two triangles, feminine, was above, so below, sacred feminine, sacred masculine. But yeah, the same story, man. Yeah, Helen started the whole Trojan War. It was because she was so hot. But yeah, because they made her that way. But
and then the use of animals, throws me for a loop for like dog man, mantis man, furry type of people, Bigfoot, all the ancient curses of the Rougarou and the lycanthropes and even vampires, transformations. Wow, that's magical times. And, energy's never created nor destroyed. We're just particles and waves and, you can change. And with the moonlight, we already know the pink moon just came and gone, man. It was powerful.
That was amazing. It was huge.
I found a kitty cat at like 1:50 a.m. It was so crazy. I made a video. I put it on my YouTube.
Hell yeah. I think that moon changed a little bit, but that's a different story. But we're going to probably hear a lot of stories about Zeus turning into animals, Eric. Wait till we get to some more.
I don't want to bring this back. If you remember, Bob, a long time ago, I brought up because I haven't read the Bible, and about Jesus was born without the woman and the husband and the woman never had sex apparently to the Bible story, and I said, well, God gave her the baby, and I remember I was asking and reading this story about Zeus, it seems like gods, right? Even the main god. I'm not saying they force themselves, but they give people their babies.
Well, the gods they're gonna get theirs, man. They're gonna get theirs. Again, and he'll understand. You guys understand. You can't look at a god in the face. Your mortal eyes can't see. You just can't handle it. It looks like big ass electrical conduit, fucking on fire, whatever.
Yeah.
So they could only present themselves in other forms, so you could see them with the human eye. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to be an animal, a hot, sexy animal. So, a little role in bestiality back in that time. But yeah, that's the problem. You can't look at gods in the face.
And then thinking about like Sumerian tablets, like the fallen ones, the gods, the people from the skies, they came down with ancient technology. So they traded it to, lust and, sleep with our women. And then that created even more of these monsters and abominations and titans. Oh, man, it's crazy to see, how all religions all connect to this same origin story,
Yeah.
Bob, there's a weird
Thor, Zeus, Neptune, Odin, Loki. There's
a weird speaker sound that's coming from your end, Bob.
Is it really?
Yeah, look, because when I remove you, that sound goes away.
Oh, I don't
But
know.
back, it's like a weird kind of a static in a way.
I don't know. I have no idea. Here, kick me off.
Now it actually sounds a little better.
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Okay, that's weird. I have to calm down. Calm down. I have too much energy. Calm down. I had Chinese food, so I
Here's number 3. This one says Kronos eats all the children he can produce and cuts off his dad's penis. Now,
yeah.
that's what it says. I'm not making this up. It says right here, Kronos eats all the children he can produce and cuts off his dad's penis. Okay, let's hear this. Back when the world was just beginning, at least according to the Greeks, there was a Titan god named Kronos, or Kronos, depending on our records. He was birth of a god called Uranus, or Uranus, I don't know, also called the sky, and married to a goddess called Rhea. He was power obsessed in the worst way and proved this by castrating his father in order to become the top dog. Because he feared one of their own children would overthrow him, he proceeded to eat every single one of his offspring. Well, except one named Zeus, who did eventually overthrow him. And by overthrow, we mean that Zeus grew up, sought out Kronos, and forced him to vomit up all the babies gods he had eaten over the years. The gods were somehow still alive, and great war raged over for a decade between them and the Titans, and Zeus and his siblings eventually winning out.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice. All through history, there's always the son always usurps the father. It's even in humans, even in kingdoms, son always usurps the father. So Uranus and Hera, basically the Earth goddess, they had their way, and then they had children, and then Kronos was born, whatever, and so Kronos wanted to become king, so he had to take out Uranus. So he got him. Once he cut off his wanger, then he couldn't reproduce anymore, so he was in charge. And then he got married, and he had children, and then the same curse was on him that one of his sons is going to take his ass out. So he ate all his children, like basically didn't really chew them up, but just kind of sucked them into the void, like a big void. He's like a black hole. He just sucked them in. And so what they did was they hid Zeus as a baby and put rocks in swaddling clothes, and he didn't even think nothing of it because he's high and drunk. He just swooped it straight down. But it turns out that Zeus lived, and so he grew up and then took out old Papa.
And then you got to think, were the visions and those thoughts, were they because of his actions of eating all his kids? That why Zeus, felt vindicated that he had to do it, or was it naturally going to happen? It's that thing of fate and like fighting fate. And if he would have did this, if he wouldn't have, would it still have happened? Woo!
It's the same in Christianity because God, obviously, we're all in mythos. We're all God's children, and so his number one child, which we'll just go ahead and call Lucifer, wanted to usurp Dad. So he's in the process of usurping Dad also. It's the same chain of command. It's the same thing that's happening now. It's always the big battle.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., man, Ken Griffey Jr. Like it even happens in baseball. Like it's everywhere in life.
Everywhere. It happens even in the wild kingdom, like the grayback gorillas. There's always a son because the graybacks have multiple babies with all kinds of females, multiple wives. The strongest one takes Dad out.
Yep.
Then they become the king grayback gorilla. It's life, man. It sucks.
It's the story of the Bigfoot Kingdom, of course, too.
Dominance, man. We would have never taken our dad out. We think our older brother took our dad out, but he got taken out. So here we go. Our chain of command.
Well, let's hear. Well, let's hear number 4. Number 4. Pan creates the pan flute out of a woman who rejected him.
Nice.
Okay. So, some people wrote, blame the gods for screwing around. Typical female behavior.
Well, the females get a lot of revenge.
Tom Murr wrote, Tom wrote, it said that St. Christopher was a dog man, but was blessed with human appearances for his devotion to Jesus Christ.
Tom, I was just going to bring that up, man. St. Christopher was the giant who carried Jesus across the freezing, raging river on his shoulders. And I always imagine him as, a titan, a giant. But just recently, I saw some pictures of him with the dog head. And this actually is a DNA study with 125 samples that always come back female, human, unknown male. So that is the story of these gods, man. They come from the skies and they come and mate with our women, and then they create these abominations and these species of people. And I'm not saying abomination in a way that they're all evil, but they are not meant to be here. And they are.
Bob, do you have your speaker up?
Not really. I could turn it down. I don't
turn that down because it seems like when he talks or somebody else talks, that's when it echoes through your window.
Okay, how's that sound? I turned it down.
Let me see. 1, 2, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4. Yeah, a little better because I think it was echoing.
You guys keep talking. I might switch out computers, but just keep going. I won't say a word.
Not gonna say a word. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let me go here. I'm all over the place. So Pan creates a Pan flute with the woman who rejected him. Let's find out why. Why would a woman reject Pan in the first place?
Yeah.
Pan is in general a pretty nasty guy. Okay. Some myth says he has birth from Penelope, Odysseus' wife, while others says it was nymph or even Aphrodite herself. He was known for tending and sometimes having relations with his sheep. Oh fuck. These guys from Fresno or what? And for wanting to get with basically every female he has ever laid eyes on. One such nymph, Syrinx, really wasn't very open to these advances and fled from Pan. The creepy half-goated, half-man followed her, chasing her through the woods. Eventually, Syrinx became so fed up with this, she got a river god to transform her into something Pan couldn't possibly lust after, a bunch of bees. But Pan was determined to have her, and he decided to take a piece of her with him everywhere. He used reeds to craft the flute, what is known today as the Pan flute. It just goes to show that stalker-like behavior stretches back thousands of years.
Yeah, that's a crazy story, man. Just thinking about him getting rejected by her and being a creepy dude, and then it actually turning to Pan flute. That's used in every school nowadays, and we have to really look back at our history and make sure the words we're spelling and are not too evil. That's something.
That is. Bob, you have any crazy thoughts on that? Or are you still alive? He must be still alive. So let me see here.
Is he in Yosemite right now, or where?
Oh, Bob's back in
the UK.
He's back in the UK.
Nice.
So he's on a different. It's nighttime for him. And then here, I gotta post this because I actually posted the wrong thing for people to come over to this channel. I actually posted. I accidentally posted StreamYard instead of the link to come to this page. But that's awesome. Cool. But that's weird because I'm always curious about this one because Bob always has stories about bees, and it's interesting that this woman chose to be bees. So if she turned into bees, when he said he took a piece of her, I wonder if he means he took a piece of every bee, captured every bee, and then added the bee to the flute. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's very interesting too. I've had my fair share of bees and white-faced hornet stings. I was outside and I stepped on an underground nest one time. I got stung like over 40 times, and I was swelling up real bad and had a fever. And I remember running inside, like stripping off my clothes, being like, "Help!" at the bottom of the stairs, and they just closed the door on me. It was It was so crazy.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. Bob's changing computers out. It echoes when we talk, so somehow it's, I don't know what it's doing. Sometimes StreamYard, sometimes computers do weird things. It's just, it is what it is. So, okay, we'll just go on to the next one. This one is Ixion impregnates a cloud to create centaurs.
Nice. Yeah.
Centaurs.
Yeah.
So, guys, I told you some crazy stories here. It's you can say this is horror in a weird, strange way.
And the centaurs and the goat man is very interesting because I've investigated the Coahuila Creek goat man, and half man, half goat, after a man got killed by the KKK and they never found his body. So after sometimes terrible things happen, there are transformations. So yeah, it's crazy to see these things happen. And goat man, and he's messing with sheep. Wow, they're stirring the pot with some weird things.
One of the things I've been learning this week from reading the crazy Bible stories and all that men are evil, man. Gods do whatever they want. They want to impregnate somebody, they're gonna impregnate, or they're gonna become an animal, be somebody who they're not. I mean, it's just like it's like if you do that nowadays, like you and I, Tom, we'll be arrested.
Yep.
It's just so weird. We live in different times. I mean, it is kind of not funny. I'm not making fun of it, but it is kind of funny to go back and look at our culture, because there's so many things that we laugh about that if you think about it in today's world, like, holy shit, I guess that would be bad. Kind of like, I don't know if Connor, if you ever saw the movie Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah.
Okay. In Revenge of the Nerds, I never thought anything about it, where the main nerd at the end of the movie slept with the girl by drugging her. Never really seriously thought that was bad in a weird way, because it's a comedy. And then you start thinking about it like, holy shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird things that were in movies that, slid by as normal. And in a way, that it's despicable. But Hollywood knows what they're doing. And that goes into the symbolism, man. Exactly what you said. Like, you've been watching through these movies, seeing the foreshadowing and everything, and the way they try to shape everybody's agenda. And yeah, they pass it by as a comedy film, but man, there's some dark intentions, and that's and stuff.
It's just weird to think about it. It is times, and then I start reading the Bibles where I don't read the Bible, but I read the last show on Monday. We read the top 10 ridiculous stories from the Bible, and one of the trademarks of the ridiculous stories is how easy it was for men to offer up their daughters. And it was just like, it's just weird to think about. Like Bob was saying, but that's what the times were like during those times, and it's just it's just weird to think about all that. What is this? Unless you come from New Zealand, your first girlfriend is always called Baba Ra.
Oh. Interesting.
Wow.
Cool.
Is Baba Ra, is that a sign of Barbarella?
She's my Baba Ra. That's my Baba Ra right there.
So what do you call? Here's a good question. Hey Peter, so what do you call your second girlfriend then? Do they have a name, or is it just? I mean,
Baba Roo.
I'm glad we don't have that here, because you know how wives, they always ask questions like, "Hey Eric, who's your first Baba Ra?" I don't know. What do you mean you don't know who your first Baba Ra is? You don't care?
My seventh.
No, I never cared about technically girls in that way growing up. I don't want to say anything else. I sound like a creep. Like well, you treat women like meats. No, nothing meant like that. But here, let's read this one. The story goes that Ixion was in exile for certain crimes against fellow humans. When Zeus took a pity on him, invited him to come to Olympus as a guest. You figure out pretty quickly in the first list that Zeus doesn't make a lot of great decisions. Once there, he saw Hera and became completely obsessed with getting her into bed. To test his loyalty, Zeus created a cloud version of Hera, which Ixon then somehow impregnated. How does one impregnate a cloud? It's hard to say, but we do know that Zeus became angry and punished Ixon by transforming him into a giant flaming wheel. And what of his cloud offspring? He was named Centaurus. He was known for mating with a whole bunch of horses. And, and from that came the mythical creature known as Centaur, half man and half horse. Makes all these centaur scenes from Harry Potter seems like a little bit more uncomfortable now, doesn't it?
Centaur.
Yeah, man, half horse, just like the goat man. It's these transformation of these hybrid creatures, demigods. You know, we worship Thor and Loki, but we really need to look at them in a brighter light. It's very interesting to hear all the adaptations. And nothing against centaurs. I love Percy Jackson and his companion that protected him. So I think it's all very interesting. And centaurs still exist. And Cain is as tall as a man on top of a horse. So we need to look at these like they're real. That's my big thing. There's roots to reality in all these stories.
Centaur. Yeah, that's Sagittarius was a centaur. Yeah.
And I love the Harry Potter scenes too. And the centaurs help Harry and look after him in the dark forest. And it doesn't make it any more creepier, like the article said. I could think bigger than it.
But man, it's just, man, all these gods, they all, man, I don't know. I don't think these gods would make it in the Me Too movement.
And while we're on the same subject of horses, unicorns are real.
Absolutely.
Well, with all these gods mating, maybe a unicorn will come out in one of these stories that got created.
I saw a zebra go past my house, a bunch of them, but they were in a truck. They were being transported, but it was still really cool. You don't think zebras go past your front door.
Well, let's see what number 6 is. Dino says, guest states in Zeus' eye. Huh. Okay. There have been some weird births.
Mandela effect.
Oh, well, we're going to find out from you right after this one. There have been some weird births in Greek mythology, a few of which we'll touch one more later. But Dino's god of wine and good times was probably one of the strangest. It all begins with Zeus. Again, not being able to keep in his pants, he slept with mortal princesses named Semele, I don't know, and she became pregnant with this child. Man, Zeus sure gives a lot of kids. Hera, Zeus' wife, took issues with this, as she usually did, and decided to ruin everything. She sowed seeds of doubt in the girl's mind, and eventually Semele asked to see Zeus in full, to know that he really existed and really loved her. Zeus has sworn an oath to do anything for her and was bound to do it. Of course, seeing Zeus in all his glory killed any mortal who looked at the princess was engulfed in flame. Even though his new lover was dead, Zeus was determined to save their unborn baby. So, of course, he took him from her womb and put him someplace safe in his own thigh. Zeus managed to keep the baby there until he was big enough to emerge.
Wow. Yeah, I know that whole story. So the reason why I know this story really, really well is because, number one, I played Dungeons and Dragons, Eric. Remember when I was a kid, got kicked out of high school for it. But he's a Satanist. They get together and worship Satan. We play Dungeons and Dragons with fucking dice and cards, man. I'm just hanging out with nerds, having a great time. I know about Dionysus because that was my god in the game. So when I played Dungeons and Dragons, I was famous for calling and asking God to bring down some big barrels of wine, which got the enemy drunk, and then we attacked. or snuck by them in our campaigns. But anyway, Zeus only ever bore one child from his own body, and that was Athena from his head hole. Only ever. So all of a sudden, this was in 2018, I was reading about it. I go, wait a minute, no. Now Zeus bears two children from his own physical body, which I have never heard of, even at the university level. No. What happened was, we talk about Zeus, you can't see him. So he's been laying with this gal, and she's married, by the way. She's married. He's laying with her in the form of a man, a different man. He says he's a traveler, kind of like how Odin travels around with a hat as a man disguised. She says, show me your real form, because her servants and her other people in her group are saying, hey, he's a liar. He's not a god. He's fucking lying. He's conning you. He's conning you out of some nookie. Bullshit. You need to tell him to reveal himself. And he made a promise to do anything she wanted, because he's always in love. So he's like, if I show you my real form, you're going to die. You understand? You're going to die. So she insists on it. He becomes whatever his god form. The whole place burns into flames. She just burns into nothing. The whole fucking palace explodes in the flames. Everything's ash. However, because she was carrying his embryo, his half-god embryo, it was still alive within the ashes. So he's like, oh, shit. What do I do with the – there's no doctor. You're going to put this inside of another – well, so he cut into his thigh and then put the embryo into his thigh, close it off, the god that he is, and let it grow up to a baby. So once it's big enough as a baby, he took the baby out, which was Dionysus. Also, there's a Mandela effect with the spelling. But anyway, he gives the baby over to the nymphs. The nymphs. He gives a baby to a bunch of party animals. Like literally, these are animals that half human that party. They just party. They grow like pot, weed, wine, everything. So the baby, Dionysus, grows up with the nymphs out, and it came from Zeus's own body, his own leg. And here's the weird part. Now, in this timeline, people need to, this is really fucking weird. The stories of Dionysus have changed according to what I know and remember. He has a similar story to what they would say Jesus Christ had. He had same stories. He had traveled, but except his 12 disciples basically were a bunch of traveling actors, singers, performers, drinkers, tokers, midnight, whatever you want to call. They were a party group of people, a little farm group of 12 disciples. He traveled with these party people. And he also had a hat with fruits and all kinds of interesting things on it. And he traveled to city where they said there's no way you could be a demigod. So Dionysus stories, I recommend everybody go read them. It's really, really interesting, and some of the miracles he's performed, just looking the way he does, kind of like a party schmuck. And they're like, oh my God, he's half Zeus. He was carried by Zeus. He had no mother, zero mother. He was 100% dude. So, he has his own cool ass. They had a comic book series. Dionysus would be badass series to read, because he had some crazy stories in this timeline. Now, let's move forward real quick, Eric. I don't want to take up too much time.
No, go for it.
Talk about the Shroud of Turin. The current Shroud of Turin. This is where it gets really weird. Now, everybody put on your thinking hats for a second. Step out of your box. This is going to be weird. The Shroud of Turin is supposed to be the covering of Jesus Christ. And they've had all these tests done, archaeologists, they had all these chemists, everyone doing bits and pieces of this shroud. And what they found was along his head area, they found blood and wounds. They also found pollen. Like what? They found fruit pollen and reminiscences of fruit and different varieties of flowers and all kinds of stuff. So they're going, what is this? It's supposed to be the crown, but it turns out now in an hypothesis, which is becoming more of they don't know. It's a fact. Whatever you guys want to take it, do your own research, read the studies. It turns out when Jesus
was given the crown of thorns, they also hung fruit from it and flowers and all kinds of different varieties of colorful things. So he wasn't just carrying whatever piece of wood that he had down the road. He was also he had looked like one of them cha-cha-cha girls at the beach with all the fruits and vegetables hanging off of his head. According to what they found on the Shroud of Turin, around his head area, they had pollen from all these different fruits and different things that was within what was supposed to be the crown or whatever. So if you go back and do your research as an anthropologist, you would realize, my God, it looks like the same apparatus that they always had Dionysus wear. So if these individuals were actually Greek soldiers or the Roman soldiers and they were pagan, they looked at Jesus like Dionysus. It's the same story. So they put the Dionysus hat on him, basically. They made him look like Dionysus, and he crawled it. So one of my theories, I'm putting it, why do they have all this? Because it's similar to what Dionysus wore. They dolled him up like Dionysus, and that's how he rolled down according to, if you believe what's in the Shroud of Turin is correct. Because that's what they have as evidence. You guys do your own research. You're going to laugh your ass off. But there is fucking fruit. Robert's right. Oh, shit. Dionysus. So they made Jesus look like Dionysus. The same story. It's the same damn myth stories. So I thought that was interesting. Dionysus, to me, is a really important character in pagan religion that people need to really look at and do an odd comparison with Jesus. That's a weird overlap there. Not to be overly confused, but just take everything at myth. Don't be serious with it. Take it as a story, like a comic, and you'll see some similarities on their stories. Just throwing that out to you about the old Dionysus, because he's really had a lot of changes in antiquity that I've never heard of. So
I can see the crown being an entire ecosystem. With spiders, lizards, like people need to start thinking a little bit more mythical. These are ancient times. Like, this is still Earth we're talking about. All these stories are right around the corner from where we live right now. So we need to embrace the power of heaven. We're standing on the shores of Earth.
Yeah, you were kind of a mythology guy. You were into comics, which is mythology. You need to go do some research on the Shroud of Turin and look at his hat, his crown of thorns area. You need to come up with it and say, holy shit. Either say, hey, Robert's got a point about they found all this evidence of fruit and flowers and different variety of things around that was obviously hung on the crown. And then go do your research on Dionysus and what they've had him in mythology wear. You're going to see a comparison. It's almost identical.
Yeah.
You'll be like, wow.
I'm going to have to look for the comics, too, because we have tons in totes, and actually Saturday we're doing a huge revamp. I got to go at 7:30 in the morning, and it's going to be awesome. We're putting a bunch of slat wall up, and we're installing 4 tables so we can do Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, MetaZoo, Pokemon. Oh, it's going to be bad.
Jealous. All right, Eric.
That sounds fun. No, it's amazing how these stories, there's so much more to these stories. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, let's see what this one says. Number 7 is Lycurgus. I don't know. Gus. Let's call him Gus. Gus of Trace mistakes his son for a plant. Yeah, I hate that. I hate when that happens, when you mistake your son as a plant. That sucks. But here we go. Remember the whole theme of don't piss off the gods. Okay? Gus could have really used a reminder of that before he received one of the strangest punishments ever dished out. Okay? So the story goes that Gus attacked and injured everyone's favorite party god. Yeah, don't fuck with the party god, guys. Don't do that. Okay? Now, remember, guys, if Bob's the god, don't fuck with them, because it says here, don't fuck with the party gods. Okay. Diagnosis. While he was on a wine tour through the mortal world, dude, a god on a wine tour? I'm all for that. The gods punished Gus with madness. In the heat of the madness, Gus saw his son and instantly said, by golly, there's a weird weed or a vine over there that needs clipping. Oh my God, I know where this is going. He then promptly got an axe and killed his own son as well as the rest of his family. After that, some myth says he used the same axe to cut off his own leg, as one does in a fit of madness. I guess in a fit of madness, you cut off your own leg. I didn't know that, but guys, watch out. Even after his death, he was given no respect and with his body in a rock. So if you're going to wrong the gods, wronging the god of wine and good time is probably our worst bet. So guys, if you're gonna fuck with the god, don't fuck with the god that is on tour for wine. Don't fuck with that god.
Well, that would be Dionysus. That's the god of wine. I mean, Dionysus. That's weird. I've never heard that story. So wait, was he micro dosing? Was he on something?
Well,
Right.
he pissed the god off, and
you could be influenced by the forest and vibes, man. I think he was under attack. I think something cursed him because there's these stories of people running off or killing people in the forest. Like, oh man, it could take over your mind, and I feel bad for the poor guy. I think he was either drugged or infiltrated through frequencies.
Yeah, he killed his whole family. He thought they were plants. That's fucked up. I think he was tripping a little bit.
The Amityville Garden.
The Amityville Garden. God damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess that's Bob. As soon as you go mad, if you got an axe in your room, I'm gonna have to take that out of your room.
Yeah, you'd be fine. Don't worry. I will not go mad. I'm an expert.
So you're an expert on not going mad.
People that try these things, don't try them unless you're professional.
Lyser just Lucagus. A Lyser just. Lyser just.
And Lyser, that has lichen. It kind of reminds me of lycanthrope.
Lycanthrope.
Yep, it reminds me of wolf, and then wolfman. It's all connected.
Lycanthropes. Okay.
Well, let's hear this weird story. Baby Athena gives Zeus a splitting headache. Oh, okay. Headache. Who cares? But okay. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Is this a big headache or is it a small headache? Well, guys,
let's
find out about Zeus's headache. Unsurprisingly, we're back to Zeus being a hopeless leech. God, there was a woman named Metis whom Zeus desired. Seemed like fucking Zeus desired every woman there is. Okay, she heard a prophecy that her child would overthrow Zeus. He too got wind of this and did the only logical thing: swallow the lady and her unborn child whole. Problem solved, right? Sometimes later, Zeus began to have terrible headaches. Which was pretty bright guy. He told told somebody named Hip to take a wedge and break open Zeus' skull. Because apparently that's how you cure headaches. With when they cut open Zeus' skull. A fully grown female sprang out, completely dressed in woman's armor. There was Athena, promising enough, the goddess of wisdom and intellect. Now, guys, so basically the story of this is if you're going to screw around with on your wife with somebody else, and if you want to get rid of them, don't eat them. Because if you eat your wife and unborn child, or maybe she had a child, you're going to get a headache.
Well, he himself was, almost ingested by his father. That was the methodology at the time for a god, I guess. Eat the young like a cat. So, he ate her. And then, Athena was born of his body. So she was born of a man. That's the whole idea of Athena.
Well, Bob, I think Peter said it perfectly. Isn't that the aim of all daughters? Give dad as many headaches as much as possible?
I guess there's a lot of stories behind it. Exactly. Give dad a headache. Exactly.
And then I guess if you eat somebody, you better watch out because they're gonna slice your head open. They come right out.
Yeah. So again, he bore Athena out of his head. So is that sacred feminine from the masculine? We don't fucking know, but she's number one, man. She was like number one, the baddest ass warrior of them all. Think about it. Well, Apollo, you got Apollo. Those two are kind of rivals, if you think about it. Both of them sons of.
And I think Tom Murray said it perfectly. Do not eat your wives and children.
No, they'll give you a headache.
Freaks me out now when I get a migraine. What's going to pop out?
Right? You could have a fully dressed daughter standing there with armor on,
Right.
ready to kick ass.
So crazy. Something in my thigh. I have a scar right here too. What's in my rib?
Now, this one here. Now, don't be good at weaving, people, because look like if you're good at weaving, something bad's gonna happen. It says Athena punishes Arachnid or Arag. I don't know how you fucking pronounce that. He's fucking God's name. Can't they just name him Bob, George, John, or something? But oh well.
Yeah.
For being really good at weaving. You may have heard a variation of this before. There was a woman named Arachne who was an existent seamstress. She was so exquisite and occasionally boasted that she was better even than Athena, who was supposed to be the best weaver in existence.
Yeah.
Athena heard and cautioned the girl to shut up before someone made her to shut up. When she didn't listen, Athena challenged her to a weaving contest, intent on knocking Acne down a peg or two, okay? But Arachne was more than just talk. And when the weaving was completed, Athena saw that the tapestry she made was flawless, better than anything herself had made. In a fit of jealousy and anger, she cursed the girl to feel guilty for what she had done.
Yeah.
So guilty, in fact, that she took her own life. Athena then transformed her into a spider, and she could weave off for eternity.
I like it. I like it. I love stories of people being transformed into creatures, and I've seen some huge spiders that might have been once a man or a woman. Arachnid.
Yeah.
The spider. Was this
8-legged
George, the god of mashed potatoes?
And gravy. Here
All
you go.
hail the Spud Lord George. My God.
Like St. George the Dragon Slayer.
But
Here
hey,
we go.
but
George
I mean,
in the jungle.
this story, I mean,
Watch
never
out for that
dies.
too.
I mean, everything is done out of jealousy nowadays. I mean, when
They're always fighting.
people hate other people when they can do something better than you. Well, fuck, dude. Half of these, no offense to no offense to us, but half these YouTube channels think they're top notch, top dog, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to knock you down. I mean, that story lives forever.
I am top notch. Fuck them.
Oh my God, number 10 sounds good here. Oh my God, Bob, this is gonna be a good one here.
Okay.
Hera keeps restoring her own virginity for fun.
Oh.
Wow, I know, right? This sounds like a doozy here.
I've never heard of this.
I used to tell women that I'm a born again virgin. So let's hear this. Sometimes people just need a spa day to unwind, but Hera took one extra kind of unwavering step. Every year, Hera would go to the spring of Canathos at Napolia, where she have had a nice, lovely, relaxing bath. But while she was having fun, relaxing, and bathing, she also magically restored her own virginity. This meant that Hera was perpetually a virgin, no matter how many people, including her own husband, she went to bed with. And considering Zeus' sexual appetites, would anyone blame her if she had someone on her side? But that didn't stop her. Mortals would actually bathe statues of her to restore her virginity. Oftentimes, before major social events, as a sign of reverence. Now, hold on. Let me say something. Now, women in the chat, I'm not a woman. I am not a woman, so
Huh?
I don't know this for a fact.
I
But
couldn't tell.
but if there is a woman in the chat, I is it going through virginity kind of painful? So I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm a man. But would
Yeah.
you want to go through if it is painful the first time for a woman?
Yeah.
Why would you want to go through that every time?
I don't know. I've never heard this story ever. I took mythology and I took classics. I've never, ever heard of this story. I'm going to say it right now. I'm like, huh? Well, we go back to the Bible again with all these, the word sex, anything that have to do with procreation. I'm just going to use that balance word, has been homosexuality, bisexuality, all the whatever controversial words have been really put into there. It kind of make you go, huh? It's now, and I've told people before, it's making its way into mythology. And if you're a pagan, you're not exempt either. So you're seeing these strange things pop in there too. I've never heard of that, ever heard of that story. So, okay.
I've heard of girls saying that around trying to be born again virgins and
it's the joke.
Yeah, I never heard it in ancient texts.
Never heard it in ancient texts. I mean, we would have known that because being the kind of guys we are, we would have made that joke. We would have. All you have to do is get Hera to take care of you, babe. Don't worry, you got just pray to Hera. We would have made the joke. It's just a common joke you would be making. I've never heard of that. That's new for me. I don't know if you guys want to call that, whatever you want to call that, whatever camp you're from. That's unusual. That's consistent with all of the religious books at the moment. I'm not shocked. I'm just shaking my head like, okay. Okay. There's this. That's a cool story, though. I've never heard of it before. It's kind of add it to your notes, everybody. Add it to your notes. Just keep writing these things down. Just moving on.
I know it seems like what I've been learning this week is so much, man. Fucking give your daughters up easy. Like, just here, take my daughter, do whatever you want. And it's just like, and then learning that all these gods did whatever they want. They disguise themselves as who they're not just to sleep with people. Well, I mean, if you look about nowadays, I mean, no offense, there's a lot of men out there that pretend they're rich and powerful, that they're a great person. And then you hear stories all the time that when women marry these guys, they find out that these aren't the guys they thought they married.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. I think he's a victim of that. Whatever, that mythology. He's badass. Who else? I can't. A whole shitload of them. You always hear him divorced. I think old. Anyway, there's a lot of actors that have really weird shit. Weird relationships. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Hollywood's not real, man. They're paid actors.
Babylon, dude. It's like Eric. I also found out we had a show the other day about Sodom and Gomorrah, and I told you there was a story when all the males showed up to Lot's door and knocked on it and says, "We would like to have our way sexually," as the word is put into the Bible now. With those two men that came into your, like, what? I've never heard of this. Did some research. Another roommate looked it up and says, no, found out from from the story that Lot came out and actually said he didn't offer his daughters. He said he offered his house. He basically said, my house is your house. He didn't say you could sleep with anybody in the house. He said, just my house is your house when it comes to food and comfort and but no dirties. There's no dirties involved. But now I guess the Bible has the dirties involved. So I'm like, the word sex is even included. I'm like, I don't remember that ever. I don't remember them knocking on the door asking to have sex with the males. The males were asking to have sex with the other two males, and I don't remember any of that. So again, with the consistent dirties kind of permeating into the fabric of our reality, I don't know. I think we're smarter than this.
It was a tactic to try to renew Zeus' interest in her, but didn't work. Old story. Oh, okay.
Okay, very good. Yes. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Okay. So it's been out there. Okay, we got somebody who remembers that story. Okay, good.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
important, people. Don't be screaming, I don't remember that either. No. If you remember it, say it, and then give us exactly what across there, because it helps everybody else out.
And there's so many adaptations, and we all came from different places, so we need to hear it, because we need to stop drawing those lines between us. Because everybody's so scared to offend it. It's like, come on, man, we're under one sky. Let's figure this crap out.
You're not going to offend us. You're not going to offend us.
Yeah,
if you heard the story, say
it. No, that's kind of perfectly said. I think I said on Monday to Bob that you get it to a point now in life that you don't even know what to say. You can offend somebody. I mean, I'm learning that words are meaning other words nowadays,
You can't say master bedroom,
Well, even I even told Bob that even on Reddit, I told Bob even on Reddit now, if you write a sentence, you'll get a robot, or they call a bot, saying you should not use this word. You should use this word instead of this word. And I'm like, what? Really? I can't even use the word waitress now? That's offense people?
The master bedroom, that's a big one. That's new for me. Wow. Yeah, if you think about it, it's the master bedroom, which means it's his room dominant to the female in the room. Wow. So you can't use that.
Going back to slave times too, of course,
Ooh, here we are.
But slavery is so much more on earth than just the American slave trade. And that has been infiltrated by, whitewashing. And a bunch of propaganda itself.
I am going to be ending the show a little early today, about 10 more minutes. I gotta rush and go somewhere. But everybody, today's was awesome because we had different shows, different guests, and anybody in chat. I'm going to put something in the chat, guys. If you go to my Reddit page, I actually have the link to the trailer to the movie that we talked to the director today of. Let me show you the movie that's coming out in 2 days. I have it on my Reddit page. It's called Hoodman. Watch the trailer. The movie comes out in 2 days. The director, Mark Corin, was awesome. He was a nice guy. Me and Bigfoot, we learned a lot about what it takes to make a movie. The difference between writers, producers, and how the funds. It didn't really matter about the funds because it's a low budget movie, but we learned that he loved the movie so much. Even though you want to make money, but you gotta make a movie where you're probably gonna lose money, but you do it for the love of it.
Yeah. Did you ask him about Weinstein? Did you ask him any questions about Weinstein?
We didn't ask him about Weinstein.
He did talk about executive producers having an inner circle and it being close to him. So he's an indie producer for sure on the outside of the circle. He was happy to get a deal with Tubi, and he works, from the bottom up. And he was very interesting and talking about the urban legend of the freaking Hoodman. I've been talking about Jeepers Creepers and the Hat Man and the Watchers so much recently that it's so meant to be that, the director of Hoodman just falls into our lap. And then he made the movie called Abandoned Dead as well. And that's a neo-noir crime thriller horror movie. And it was very interesting hearing, his take on it all and just the inner circle, and hearing that he didn't have it all mapped out from the process and just let it fall into place. It really shows you just, guys, don't get in your own way. Just, create and then let it exist, and then the rest will fall into place. And hopefully it will. If not, take the knock and get back up and try again. He talked about making Edgar Allan
Poe, awesome. He had a
movie that kind of didn't do well, so he bounced back.
Very good.
Yeah. No, he had a thought process. He wrote it down, and then, like I said, during the process, whatever it took him to. Kind of like it's all right to change your story. You can make changes. He's talking about he had different endings, but and sometimes, and he even said that even sometimes with different endings, you have a short amount of time that you kind of have to sometimes choose one. Because you don't have reshoots, kind of like the major studios get to have 20, 30 reshoots. They can revamp, people like us, if we make a movie, if Bigfoot makes a movie, Bob, if you make a movie, you kind of one-shot deal for us. Yeah. Because you don't get to go back and make different shots to change stuff up. So it's like
Yeah.
put your best foot forward and hopefully it comes out for the best.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's
I want
really
you guys to talk to my buddy Jack, who made Zillafoot. You know, he
That'd be cool.
lives right around here, and he goes to FSU. He works at the haunted Chattahoochee Hospital, like crazy hours. So it would be weird hours. I don't know if it would be able to be in the morning, night for you. It might be might be early morning for you, Bob,
Yeah.
and then late night for us. But whatever works, I know we could swing it. But he would definitely be very interesting to talk to because he's a cinematic mind as well, and just seeing all the different angles and us all being cinema fans, and knowing the truths and roots to reality to it all. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Set it up with Eric. I'll just get up early in the morning when I don't mind.
No, we'll do it. I love talking to these people, and not like talking to these people like I told them, I don't care what your favorite color is or what your favorite movie is. I like to know the process, what goes on in your mind. Where does the story come from? Like Bigfoot was saying that he took the story all the way back from Greek mythical legends, like kind of like on the show we're doing today. So it's kind of cool. So and Tom Murr said, great seeing you, Bob. Miss you on the Gypsy Road today. And guys, I apologize for changing these shows on different channels. I wanted to give the guy respect, put him on the bigger channel. And then I didn't want to do this show on the bigger channel because I didn't want two videos where everybody skips his. They just go to the newest one because that's what people do. They don't, they go to whatever the latest video. Now this video here will be put on the Gypsy Road channel tomorrow. I'm going to re-put it back on. And tomorrow on this channel, guys, who's ever watching or will watch, tomorrow is going to be talked about the Hellraiser franchise.
Ooh.
I'm going to talk about the Hellraiser. And I mean this, anybody's available wants to come on, anybody could come on. If Bigfoot is off on Tuesdays and Thursdays, wants to come on anytime he wants, he could come on. More people, the better, talk about movies. It's just great. And then on Friday, we're going to be talking about mythicals again, but we're talking about the terrifying, unheard, mythological creatures that will send chills down your spine. So we're going to be talking about some creatures in the mythical sense that aren't your popular creatures.
Yeah, I want to see that.
So that's Friday. And
then
beyond that, what else you got coming up, Bigfoot, before we end the show today? You got anything else coming up?
I'm really excited. We're supposed to be on the Discovery Channel next month with Expedition X with that the discovery of that giant bone by my teammate. I'm trying to look for the picture of it. Yeah, right here. We're getting it tested, so hopefully they don't, take it and replace it with a plaster bone.
Wow.
But we're gonna get it tested with Josh Gates, and that's the highest testing, and that's the best we could do for it. It's just hiding out in a drawer right now. So if it could be in a museum or we can get some answers, it's gonna be incredible. I'm super excited.
Let me ask you a question about that. Were you getting it tested? Is it a place that you could trust that they're not gonna try to cover up the truth? And we don't want people to believe that Bigfoot's real, so we're gonna say it's a chicken bone. Are you afraid that are you going to a real honest place where you're getting the bone tested?
We're handing it over to the Discovery Channel, and that's two sides of the coin. That's the most honorable thing, and then two, we've heard the story. You hand it over to the important people, and then it never comes back. So either way, if like I said on the last show, with Truth Denied, there's 125 samples of DNA. It comes back female human, male unknown. So either they're going to say it's a short-faced bear and a giant sloth, or they might come out and say the truth and say unknown female or known female, unknown male, and then it might just get thrown in with the rest of them. There's been thousands of these skeletons excavated, so a thumb bone is cool, but the whole investigation is we're going to try to find the clavicle, because Ronnie, my buddy who found the bone, he discovered the rest of the bone in this underwater flat rock, so it's in the bone, in the rock. So I don't know if they're going to plan to carve it out or just keep it like it is and preserve it. I'm interested either way. You know, there's local sightings that are blowing up around here in the Ocheezy Swamp. So, you know, I'm just trying to have my feet on the ground and spread the word either way, at best way I can, you know, about the information and the warnings of being safe in the woods. Just because, you know, Mr. Full Ideas, David Plez, Missing 401, he's doing great spreading the word, but not everybody's hearing it. You know, it's not on every street corner and in flyers and on the news. And a lot of people are still going into the woods, you know, unannounced. And now he just posted a video this morning about car crashes that people are going missing from. So just be careful at all points and, you know, trust your gut. Don't follow lights into the woods. You know, if there's silence, go back home. There's so many warnings out there. But yeah, I'm really excited about the future. You know, I'm working more books, but I'm selling Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden, Big Brother, Bigfoot, and then Monsters and Mysteries next month at InfinityCon in Tallahassee. I'm so excited to be, you know, feet on the ground and meeting people, and it will be really cool to just chop it up. And then there's a Florida Bigfoot conference. I reached out to them about doing a seminar. I'm not sure how everything's going to go. They might already have everything set in stone. I really plan on just going and chopping it up with people. I don't have to have a table. You know, I just have to be myself, wear my little Bigfoot Anonymous shirt, and maybe I'll pass out business cards or something. But
you know why you're going to make it?
Spreading knowledge.
I'll tell you why you're going to make it. You're going to make it big. Bigfoot. Mark's going to make it big with the studio, because anybody comes on our show, they're going to make it big. Our good friend Viz from Dead Walking YouTube channel just signed a good deal with the streaming service. So people come on my show, they make it big. So, and I can say one day, I can say, dude, I know him. I know Connor. I know Mark. And hopefully one day when they're all on, you guys are all on your big channels, you remember us little people and you bring us on.
Hey, you guys Gypsy Road. You guys are legends. How did you guys, you know, build your big following on YouTube? Like, did you guys have one video that blew you up, or did it just grow?
You know what? Facebook? We don't have any video that blew up. No video. Dude, our biggest video only has 4,000 views on it, and that's from a year ago. We just do a show.
Just got real fans. Real subs. They're real. They're not like they're real. They're like we inched our way up with actual real people. Like they're real people.
That's cool. That's cool. I commend that, because that's a beautiful thing. That's what my whole goal, and that's what I'm in the middle of doing, you know, is preserving and creating a community of people that can just talk about cryptids for one, but openly about the truth. Nowadays, it's right at our front steps that, you know, our freedoms are being inhibited. So we need to freaking act, and we need to wake up, and it starts with looking at our past. So it's a beautiful thing, linking up with you guys all the time, and, you know, diving into movies and Greek gods, and having a platform that we can, you know, spread our knowledge and gain some knowledge and just grasp the cloud above. You know, clouds can be impregnated. No wonder we can steal information from them or borrow.
We do need a viral video. I'm still waiting for a video to go viral.
You guys definitely got to get on TikTok. I don't know if you guys released any videos on TikTok.
I've got a few things on TikTok. I should start using it more. I mean, I'm using more social media more. You know, I created the Reddit page for paranormal UFOs. You know, I created a website. You know, I'm trying to get it out there, like you're saying.
For sure.
One of the things that we try to do here is talk, like you said, talk about everything, not just Bigfoots, not just UFOs, everything. And I think we got fans from every little pocket. Now, the problem with that is there is a problem with that. When you do it like that, we might not have like 1,000, 2,000 views on one show, because all our fans like their own things. Like a Bigfoot show, we'll get the Bigfoot people out. We'll get the UFO people out. And we try to do our best to tell everybody, you should just all come in, because it's all related.
Yeah, I try to overlap everything.
You do get people who only like UFO talk, pyramid talks, but I don't think people understand that it's all related.
Yeah, everything's related.
You know, and we're gonna keep working at it. That's all we can do. Keep working at it. So beyond that, I actually do gotta go. I gotta pick up some food, and Bigfoot wants to show us something real quick.
Yeah, I always like to show it because even if we just keep talking, you know, I like to show these just because you can always look back and these people can just see that there's always more that what meets the eye. You know, this was drawn in 1981. You know, I took this recently and I'm about to go kayaking and fishing with my mom right down this same creek. So if I go missing today, look for this guy.
Cool.
And then yeah, David Politis. He investigated Ben McDaniel's disappearance right around the corner here. He was in Vortex Springs, and you know the aquifer below. Boom, you're there. So it's crazy.
So beyond that, I got to end the show. I got to get going. I want to thank everybody for showing up, and everybody have a good day.